Hello, everybody. Okay, I know it's a weird setup still. I've got somebody, my nephew's friend, she's loaned me the TV for a few days to use as a monitor. So I could at least got to my email last night and could at least see what's happening on Facebook. However, I can't figure out how to get the volumes very low because it's a TV and there's no outer buttons for it's just on the back on or off. And so I figured I realized I had to turn it back on. No. Anyway, but I don't see any buttons. And I assume you probably raise volume and such with a remote, but I didn't get a remote. They hadn't probably thought of that. But that's not a problem because anything that I want to listen to louder, I'll just do what I've done with the phone, use that attached to my speakers. There's not even a speaker jack to put in to the TV that I can find because I thought about that. Oh, just put it in. So I'm not going to fuck around with her TV. You know what I mean? Everything's big on the screen, but I am not complaining. I'm just saying everything's a lot off. I can get to the shit that I needed to get to. And this weekend I should have a monitor for starting the week. So I am playing catch up. So in the next day or couple days, if you're like, that happened a week ago. Yeah, but I haven't covered it yet. I mean, I might have seen it on the TV, but trying to cover everything and do everything. I'm used to watching something on one window and on the other half of the thing I'm doing something like a graphic while I'm so I'm just going through stuff while I'm listening to YouTube and stuff on the phone. So this woman that got shot 5 times in Chicago. There's a lot worse stuff being done by ICE in Chicago than there was in LA. They're amping up shit. They've already, before they hit somebody in the back of the leg with a rubber bullet in LA. Well, now they've shot reporters in the back of the head and shot them right with gas and stuff. And in Portland, some of the protesters are wearing the inflatable costumes. I mean, to let them know you're not violent. One's a unicorn, one's a frog, one's, and a dinosaur. One of the agents, I have a screenshot of it, taking the mace, you can see the red color, and spraying it in where the blower hole is, so it infiltrates the costume. Not only can it kill somebody, choke them, but the entire costume inside is now fucked up. That's money. And that could seriously damage you if you can't get out right away to air. So this is fucked up. But now they've done this thing with a woman. She apparently was in her car and she was just trying to warn her neighbors there's ICE coming in. And they're spinning a story. They're not releasing the body cam, but her lawyer has seen the body cam. And he says what they're saying is complete fucking lie. They're saying that she rammed their SUV and they're a terrorist, yada yada. So Well, the attorneys who saw the video, the body cam, said that they turned their vehicle into her and then just opened fucking fire with their rifle through the window into her vehicle. I don't yet know where the bullets hit, but she was still in surgery at the time that I read this thing. I didn't even do more research because I've seen this story and those basic things in respected people's stuff. So I knew that this was true, and it was also on somebody who's verifiable, and make sure they verify their stories. That's not acceptable. That's why they're not releasing it. They're saying, "Oh, we'll tell you what it is." Another one, somebody said something about the guy's girlfriend is in charge of Antifa or something. I'm like, I told you this before, guys. Antifa is not like Proud Boys or Ku Klux Klan. It's not a fucking tangible, physical, like, group. They don't have meetings. They don't have a membership. They don't. It's a thought. It's saying that peace is a group. Peace is not a group. Peace is a concept, an idea. That's what anti-fascism is. It's anti, meaning against, and fascism, meaning fascism. Dictator, fascism type of shit, okay? You can't have meetings with peace. Where are the peace meetings? That's the same thing as saying we're the Antifa. Because Antifa is just short for anti-fascist. It shouldn't be called Antifa. It should be called Antifa. That's the way most people that know what it is pronounce it. Antifa. Pronouncing the accent, the emphasis on the first syllable, because the first syllable has the accent on it in the word anti-fascism. 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 Antifa is, see that? Antifa? So when you say Antifa, it sounds like a freaking group. When you say Antifa, it's a whole different fucking story. Antifa, what's that? Anti-fascism. Oh, Antifa. Okay. Antifa. It's Antifa. 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 Not Antifa. It's Antifa. Say it with me. Antifa. It's not fa hard. So when they say, oh, she's in charge of the chapter of Antifa. No, her thought, her concept of what she wants in this country is Antifa. It's anti-fascist. My desire is Antifa. Yes, it's anti-fascism. Exactly. Yours should be too. If you want freedom, then you don't want fascism. You are against it. Anti. Do you understand? When the mainstream media and ICE and all this bullshit are pushing, oh, the Antifa group is, we're banning the Antifa. You're banning a fucking thought? So you're gonna ban some other thoughts? How are you gonna enforce those? It's a fucking thought. It's a life type of choice. How do you expect to enforce the thought police? I did a video before my monitor died about this shit. You need, every time you hear somebody saying Antifa, tell them, correct them. When they say, well, it's Antifa, you mean Antifa? What's the difference? Because Antifa means anti-fascism. Antifa you're making it sound like a group. No, Antifa does not have fucking meetings like the Ku Klux Klan did. And white supremacists. No, they don't. Any meetings we have we happen to meet each other in the library. And for those Republicans, a library is a big building with books that you can read and borrow. It's called a library. You can even get audiobooks and borrow those, not steal them. It's a big book building. Do some research. And if you don't know where something is, you ask the lady or the man at the desk. And they are called a librarian. Yeah. Stuff you should have learned in elementary school. Antifa, not Antifa. Yeah, Judy's back. She's on a rant. Bugger off. I've always been on a rant about this kind of shit, and you know it. I just don't have as much stress right now because Raspy's feeling well, taking care of the bullshit in a couple hours with the rent, and that'll be off my fucking mind and signed, and this is halfway fixed. The other thing, halfway fixed, and will be fully fixed in a few days. So, yeah. I'm back to focusing a little more fully on the bullshit going on around here. And one of my subscribers, Becky, I'm back. Did you miss me? And yes, I changed I told you I was going to make that, like, for Dimension with the darker roots. I like it. It's my Halloweeny. I just had so much purple last time. But I might do the ends in that dark purple so it blends better into the purple. But, yeah. Oh, I'm just jumping all around, aren't I? And all you Antifas, remember the 18th, big protest. They have already done the map on just the ones that are already, just weeks from it, already scheduled. There's about 250 across this country from coast to coast. And from top to bottom, and from country line to country line. That's not including a few in Mexico and a few in Europe protesting with us. And I find that, and anybody from any of the other countries that is not America that do protests in unison, you keep track of when we're having our big protests, and you join in and you do a protest in solidarity and support of us. I'm gonna start tearing up. Thank you. Because when I see that, you guys have already planned it, and it's not even a pop-up. Thank you. Because our steam is headed up. Yeah. The Lantern League just got their 300th member just on a social media group, just on the Facebook group. And that's not counting the people that stray in on it protest day and are just like, oh well, you know. I think I'll come stand with you. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Go to a protest. And guess what? a lot of these protests, especially like the smaller ones in the smaller towns, they have all the boards and all the phone boards, and they have the markers and a little table where you can have somebody make a sign for you, or you can make a sign real quick for yourself and go then walk up and house it. I mean, we're making it so easy. You didn't have time. You didn't have money to buy the supplies to make a sign. You didn't have time between work and the kids and the spouse. We'll make one for you. Here, borrow this one. We got one you can borrow today. Here you go. Oh, you got a special thing you want to say? Here you go. You want to make it? Oh, you're not good at printing? Okay, what do you want it to say? So don't feel like you can't go because of that. You don't want people to know who you are. Do you have an inflatable costume? Got a mask? Got an anonymous mask? Go get an anonymous mask. They're like $10. Okay? Wear that. Use it as a costume, as part of your statement. There's lots of stuff, and it's Halloween month. They're in Portland. They've got a frog, a unicorn, and a dinosaur. The inflatables with the blowers in them, dancing around, protesting. I'll be in my handmaid's outfit. Okay? I'd love to have an inflatable bopping out next to me. And the reason they're doing that is to let them know, especially in the hot spots like Chicago or LA or Portland, Oregon, to show, not that they're not serious, they're not dangerous. We're not here in a hostile. If you're in an angry mode going to a protest, you're not slipping in to a rainbow unicorn inflatable costume to do that. You're slipping into all black, covering up your face with a balaclava, and just letting us see your little eyes. That's what you're doing if you're doing it for this Fourth Reich regime. So, yeah, no foul. There's a lot of things. Take advantage. It's October. It's Halloween. I was trying out my costume. There's big, fat, inflatable orange Trump ones with you can wear a Trump mask and do something statement-wise with what you dress. There's the ones where there's like the elephant and you're riding it, but they show your face. Put an anonymous mask on if you don't want to be, because you have a job that could be a problem, or you don't want your kids having a problem in school because their mom and their dad was. There's creative ways that people are coming up with, and I love it that they can get out there and be heard, even if they can't necessarily have their face seen because of a particular and sometimes it's not, like I said, it's not even because of them. It's maybe because of family members that they're trying to keep out of harm's way as a payback for you out protesting. So it unfortunately could come to that. And yes, I am very aware, wearing the handmaid uniform, especially when I'm the only handmaiden in the group. I know, it occurred to me last week or so, that I'm a huge, big fucking red target. I do know that. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm I'm, got some brass balls, and I'm not afraid because it comes to my mind on occasion that even though I'm in a crowd, when you're in a costume or, something like that, making a statement, you're a bigger target. You're a easier target. And especially because they want to take out that visual, because a handmaid's is very visual, especially when you have several together or a squad of them. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, it does worry me, but I still have to do it. I always say I'm either too stupid or too stubborn to stay down on the mat. And I think it's the same thing. It's because I can't live with myself if I don't. If I don't say anything, my own conscience won't let me live. If it's a person constantly guilting you, you can just choose to not be around them. But when it's your own conscience, when it's your own brain saying, you should be speaking up, you should be speaking up, and you don't, I can't live with that. Because my ADHD, my brain will not shut the fuck up. And if I'm doing something I'm not really proud of myself for doing, but because it's easier, something really important like this, I can't live with myself knowing I could have said or done something to maybe help make a difference, but I didn't because I was scared. I can't live with myself if I did that. Maybe some of you can, but I can't. I can't. And that's why I do what I do, and that's why the more dangerous and the more volatile it gets in the country, the louder I want to scream. The more I want to say. And make people understand that they're fighting against themselves, their own interests. If any of you else understands what I mean, yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people in Germany were scared to speak up or say, no, I won't do it, knowing they were going to shoot you right then. But maybe that's easier than for some of us than knowing for as long as I am going to live, that's going to be pestering me constantly that I was a weak person when the strength was needed. When other people needed me, I chickened out. I can't abide by that for myself. I don't know, unless you have young children reliant on you. I get not wanting to rush into that, but I don't have any young kids, and I know my cats would be kept together and loved. That's the only ones that are actually depending on me for survival. If it has to be somebody, better the ones like me that are going to leave less people helpless than those that have partners and children or run things that employees are dependent on. Better they stay safe. And those like me be on the front line. No, that doesn't make me happy, but it's what's needed. It's what's needed. And I made a vow to myself in school when I first learned about Nazi Germany and World War II and all of that. I never understood the people that could snitch others out on such a vital topic, knowing that they would be murdered. I always said to myself, that would never happen where I am, but if it did, I couldn't snitch people, and I couldn't just pretend it was okay so the heat wasn't on me too. I told myself then I will never understand that, and I could never do that. I would have to be speaking up or helping somehow. And lo and behold, at 62, I find that indeed my country is in this same position. Who the fuck would have thought? In the America I grew up in, who the fuck would have believed this? America, of all places. But I can't betray myself, my elementary school self. Of course, we're not talking second, third grade. We're talking more like the 6th grade type thing. I can't go back on that now that I'm faced with it. I can't. And I just can't live with myself if I didn't speak up. And I certainly wouldn't be able to live with myself if I turned somebody in. There's absolutely no way. Turn somebody in or die right now. I'm not going to give somebody else a death sentence to save myself. Because that's just fucked up. That's just saying my life and my things are more important than theirs. And you have no way of knowing that. So, this stance didn't just develop in the last few years. I've had this stance since I was a youth. I said I would never be the person to betray others on something like this, on racism and bigotry and misogyny. No. I can't stand with those things. And I can't pretend I can stand with those things. I can't. I can't do it. And that's That's why I do what I do, and that's why some of these people do what they do. Um, Very often it seems to be women that are in the forefront of these resistance and resistance against ICE. The first few to get in, obvious, there's a woman in there. And I'm not dissing men. I know we need a lot more youth and a lot more men out protesting. And I am not calling on the people of color to protest. No. If you are at all in this time around, it'll be later, not now. If at all. It is absolutely, you are the ones we're trying to protect. So please make it easier for us to help protect you by keeping fucking low. Don't. If you are feeling unsafe, then please don't. You can help by doing the phone bank calls. They're doing those right now for states like Jersey and others. You can live in another state and phone calls. Hook up with the groups that are doing phone banking, phone calls. Somewhere where you're not physically seen, so they don't know if you're a person of color. There's other ways. If you're a person of color and you really want to, but you're afraid, there's other ways. You can make signs for those of us who are going to be out there on the roads in the forefront of the protests. Make signs for us. Bring us snacks. I mean, there's other ways to help where you're more anonymous. Like I said, phone calls is a big thing. And they can use the help. But right now, people of color are the ones we're trying to protect. So don't push people of color unless they want to. But don't convince them, because it is more dangerous for them. You see what they're doing even to white women now. The ones they would least do something, publicly. So we don't want you guys putting yourself more in the limelight, more in the forefront and the crosshairs. Because they're already gutting for you. That's one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, because they don't want people of color. And we do. So, no, it's not a good time. It's not a good idea right now. But we do need more men, and we do need more youth. And I don't mean bring your young children. I mean high schoolers, college people, early, in their Gen Z got people. We need you guys. We need you out there on the 18th. And even small towns across this country are having them. So get on out there. Wear a mask, wear a costume if you want. And stand for your country. Stand for your fellow Americans. Because 99% of the people that they've abused and assaulted and victimized and disappeared and incarcerated or detained, 99% of them are actually legally either actual citizens or in legal programs. So you're helping your fellow Americans. And if you're a true American, that is your mindset. You want all of us to succeed. October 18th, No Kings 2.0. Be there. And have your voice in shape. And bring your megaphones.